We also have in the modify menu here align and distribute commands. It's file align, and you'll see they're all on the number pad shortcuts. And again, these are just straight number pad keys that you can press. And they're on the number pad because the number pad's in a grid. So for example, the top center number is 8, and that is aligned to top. The bottom center number is 2, and that is aligned to bottom. And you'll probably feel these make sense once you kind of physically look at where they are on the keyboard. This is kind of easiest to demonstrate with a few objects like this, but I just hit the numpad 8 key and it aligns to top. If I undo that and I hit, maybe if these were a little more distributed like this, and I hit now numpad 6, they align to right. And the other thing is the center number pad key is 5, and that means distribute whatever the last align was. So here it's aligning them based on the last distribution. And if I undo these and hit 8 to align to top, and then 5, it'll distribute like relative to the way it was last aligned. And again, I find that I almost never distribute without things being lined up, so maybe that makes sense to have it that way. There obviously can be different things added if people feel that's necessary. Another or a final feature in the align and distribute that's a little bit experimental right now, but will definitely be somehow part of the final. It's just a little bit up in the air right now, is smart bonds. So you would have to turn those on with Control-Shift-B or through the menu. And the way they work is, you see how when this went up to the guide like that, it snapped to the guide. And now if I pull this object, it actually can't come off the guide. So it's like it's aligned to the guide. And that works also, for example, objects snapping to each other. You see how it's locked like this, and now if I drag it, they all lock together. And you can have various configurations like this where objects kind of unite. It's basically remembering the intent of whatever it was you did last. Even this one now is aligned to the guide and to the object, and if I move it, you see I can't pull it off that guide, and I can't pull them off each other. Of course, you may not have wanted that, so if you don't, all you have to do is select one object in the chain and hit the numpad 0 key, or sorry, for whatever object is selected, hit numpad 0, and it'll actually break all the bonds in there. Okay, so for example, if I don't like this, I select all of them. Or for example, if I didn't like only that one, now they break apart from that, but the rest of them stay together. If you want them all broken apart, you just select all of them and hit 0. I'll get rid of this guide real quick here, and there's one more feature with distribute and align that's kind of maybe showing more the intent of where this is supposed to be going. So here I align to top with smart bonds on, and you can see it gives me this alignment guide on the top. Now if I move this around, you can see they all remember they're aligned, but they're not necessarily distributed. Now if I would also, oops, and there's where one of the kind of buggy features of this is, but anyway, now if I would align to top and also distribute, you can see I get these little springs in the middle, and now when I move it, it not only remembers they're aligned, but they're also distributed. And of course this works vertically as well as horizontally. So now for example, if I align these to the left and distribute them, then the whole thing will move like this. And now these individual ones can move within the chain, and there's a few kind of complex things that can happen there. And the problem is that it's basically there still has to be an algebra worked out of how exactly that's going to work, but this will be exportable to runtime eventually. Right now it definitely is not exportable to runtime. In fact, right now you might want to try that out and then go back up to the menu and turn smart bonds off, because it's definitely a little bit buggy. And when the smart bonds are off, the bonds are still on, but again, you just select everything and hit the 0 key and they all go away.